Yo, yo, it's your boy FRO. And today, I just want to talk about some of the Blu-rays that I picked up recently. So ain't nothing to it, but to do it. First, I got a pretty decent stack here. But first up, we got the Defiant Ones, starring Tony Curtis, who I believe is Jamie Lee Curtis's father, and Sidney Poitier, the legend, rest in peace. Now, this one was a pretty fuzzy viewing for me on my first watch as a kid. So it was pretty cool to see a physical copy or running across one, and never seen a physical copy of the Defiant Ones. So this is going to be a really cool rewatch, and I'll give this a review pretty soon. Next up, this one I did enjoy in theaters. It has a pretty crazy tone shift. Like there's funny comedic moments in it, but I thought Jojo Rabbit also had some pretty emotional moments as we got toward like the second half to the ending of the film. But I enjoyed this one. Now the director, I can never say his name right. Taika Waititi. I know you guys can make fun of me in the comments. I don't know how to say his name. But I like him, but sometimes he's hit or miss. Like I didn't love Thor Love and Thunder. I wasn't a fan of that one at all. So he can be pretty hit or miss. But Jojo Rabbit itself, I think, is a pretty damn good film. I enjoyed it. Next up, we got Mission Impossible Fallout. I thought this one was pretty dope. This one was with Henry Cavill, with Superman from Man of Steel and such. But I thought the action in here kicked ass. I'm all over the place with the Mission Impossible saga, so I don't know if Fallout comes out after Rogue Nation or if Rogue Nation comes out before. But I enjoyed Fallout, I think, a little bit more than Rogue Nation. There's so many fucking Mission Impossible movies that I honestly have to rewatch a couple. But I remember having a great time in the theater with Fallout. Next up, we got Snatch, the Guy Ritchie film. Brad Pitt. We have Alan Ford, who I think is a very underrated actor. One of my favorite actors. Yeah, Jason Statham, Benicio del Toro, Vinnie Jones. I would say this is one of my favorite ensemble cast films. I enjoy Snatch. I like the dialogue and how snarky it is. I like all the characters and how colorful they are. I think this is a really good one. This might be, if it's not my favorite Guy Ritchie film, it's in my top 2 or top 3. It's up there for me. Next up, we have Straight Outta Compton. Now, I do like this movie. I think O'Shea Jackson Jr. does a good job playing his father. I think Jason Mitchell did a good job playing Eazy-E. And I even like Corey Hawkins as Dr. Dre. I even like Corey Hawkins as an actor. But I do feel like this movie feels just a little bit phony sometimes. Or I feel like pretty inaccurate. Or like the scene where Eazy-E gets beat up by Suge in the studio. That just felt pretty fake to me, and I felt like that didn't even happen. You know, and if it did, you can correct me, and correct me if I'm wrong. But this movie just feels like very Hollywood. You know, like a very shiny, polished Hollywood version of what went down with NWA. And it is a graphic movie, don't get me wrong. There's like ass and titties and you know, profanity, fuck this. Like, I think there's like over 400 uses of the word fuck in this movie. But I like Straight Outta Compton. I just have like a gripe with it, you know. And I'm from LA myself. Like, I'm way younger than this. Like, I'm like at least 10 years younger than when all this happened. I do like the movie though. Good performances. F. Gary Gray, good director. Moving on. There's going to be a couple movies that I haven't seen. And starting with this one, this is a Spielberg film that flew over my head, The Post, with Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep. The plot says it's an incredible true story of an unlikely partnership between Katharine Graham at the Washington Post and the editor Ben Bradley, played by Tom Hanks, and Katharine's played by Meryl Streep. They strive together to expose a massive cover-up of devastating government secrets, risking their careers and very freedom in a fight for the truth. If you think this one's worth a watch, let me know, and I'll check it out as soon as I can. Next up, we have Secondhand Lions, starring 2 of my favorite actors, Robert Duvall and Michael Caine. Now, this one's fuzzy for me, I will admit, but I do remember having a good time with this one when I was a kid. This one's about Haley Joel Osment, who's mostly known for his role as the kid in Sixth Sense, and he has to go live with his two great uncles on this farm. I just remember the chemistry between Duvall and Michael Caine being really great and looked like they were having a great time. I remember a bar fight scene where they're kicking ass. This is going to be a dope rewatch for me, but I'll keep y'all posted. I might even do a review on it soon. I'm going to show you guys 3 old films that I haven't seen that I ended up copying. So we have The Iceman Cometh in the middle. We have The Eagle and the Hawk right here, starring Gary Grant, Frederick March. Cary Grant I recognize. I don't recognize Frederick March, but I do recognize Cary Grant. The Iceman Cometh, I am aware that there's like multiple versions of this. I even think there's even stage plays of this film. 1973, Lee Marvin. I am a fan of Lee Marvin. Jeff Bridges. Oh, Frederick March is in here too. So I might be sleeping on Frederick March. And then the other one is the Glenn Miller story, starring James Stewart and June Allison. So I'm going to definitely check these 3 films out. I'm a fan of 50s, 40s, 60s, even 30s, older films. So it could be like a cool time travel for Fro. As we get to a close, I got to pick up one of my favorite movies of all time. I already had a copy, but it was attached to the other films in the trilogy. So this is a single standalone copy that I can't believe I didn't have already, like by itself. Blade 2. Now, Blade 2, again, one of the best fucking action movies of all time. A top 5 vampire film. Even if there's some CGI effects here and there, like the fight scene between Nisa and Wesley Snipes in the beginning, or the first fight together. Even if some of the scenes can be a little bit cartoonish, it doesn't matter. Like, I have such a great time with this movie. The characters are awesome. They kick ass. Colorful dialogue. My favorite Chris Christopherson performance as Whistler. Norman Reedus is in here in one of his earlier roles. He had done the Boondock Saints before, but this was only like 2 or 3 years after that. So still a pretty early role for him. Definitely like 12 years before, or like 8 years before Walking Dead. Wesley's one of my favorite actors ever, but I really think that nobody could have played Blade better than him. You can technically have a better actor playing the role, but nobody's gonna match Wesley's charisma, his screen presence as Blade. He's locked into the role and he kills it in his fucking movie. Blade 2 is one of my favorites ever. And I'm going to do a review on this pretty soon. A more in-depth, detailed breakdown of like the characters I enjoy, the moments, the specific kick-ass moments I love, etc. Now, same here. I already have a copy of the first season of Walking Dead, and I copped it nearly in 2010, like around the time when it first came out. But this Blu-ray copy right here is pretty cool. Like, I like how it folds out. There's some papers that just drop the fuck out, but love how it folds out. I love the poster in the back right here. The paper slips. We have like an action figure slip right here. We have like a little mini poster. So pretty cool, you know, pretty cool. I like the design of this edition, this Blu-ray edition. Again, a cheap buy and pretty dope, you know. So I said, fuck it, add it to the collection. All right, and that's it, y'all. It's your boy Fro. That's what I recently got to pick up. I also did manage to pick up a lot of VHSs, like a good 10 or 12 of them. So I'm going to do a part 2 on the Fro VHS collection pretty soon, probably in the next couple of days. But in the meantime, between time, thank y'all for watching. It's been your boy Fro. Check out the reviews that I've been dropping, and I got a couple more lined up for you guys. So thank you and peace. Fro out. Thizzle.